Hi guys, how you all doing? Welcome to St James's Park, where, by the way, what an atmosphere it was here tonight for that game. I can't believe Newcastle have lost that. Incredible evening's entertainment. Before I get into the video, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, leave your comments below as ever. And yeah, look, plenty to talk about. That was a pretty crazy night, wasn't it? First thing I want to say, what a performance that was from Newcastle tonight, given everything that happened in the game, given the fact you were 2-0 down, given the fact you were down to 10 men, given the fact you had injuries to multiple players, given the fact the whole Alexander Isak situation. But I have to say, it was an absolute privilege and a joy to be here tonight to witness that. St James's Park, as good as you will ever see it. Eddie Howe's just said in his press conference afterwards, that's as good as he's seen this place, and I have to agree with him. Absolutely roasting though, wasn't it? Absolute sweat fest. But look, what a performance by those players on the pitch tonight. Firstly, I'm going to say I thought Bruno Guimaraes was superb tonight. Honestly, he was everywhere. He grew into the game as it went on. He got better as the game went on. I also thought Dan Burn was exceptional. Really, really strong, solid. What a defender what a central defender, top-class central defender he's grown into in the last few years here at Newcastle. And I thought Joe Linton was absolutely brilliant until he went off injured as well. Now, just quickly in terms of the injuries, Eddie said it doesn't look great for either Joe Linton or Tonali, so that's two of your midfield three. Hard to take that because, you know, it's punishing that not only do you lose the 3 points, but it looks as though you're going to miss a couple of players as well. He said Joe Linton, the nature of it, the fact he went down early, he said it doesn't look good. He said Sandro was trying to play on with one arm, which of course we all saw, and showed his commitment to the cause. He says it doesn't look good for either of those. You'd have to say they're going to be struggling for the weekend anyway, and then potentially beyond that. Eddie's not said that, but that's just my sort of reading, early prognosis and reading of the situation. On top of that, Anthony Gordon, red card, suspended for the next 3 games. You know, you've now not got your backup striker because he's suspended. I've watched the back. I think it was a red. I really do think it was a stick-on red card for Gordon. Eddie said he saw it from one angle and he thinks he's a bit unlucky, but he's not seen it. He said everyone else was telling him it was a red. And you see the stud marks on Van Dijk's leg. Look, it's a red card, and it was always going to be one of those games where, because Newcastle were playing so close to the wire and you were so revved up for the game, you could easily have crossed the line, and that happened with Anthony. Look, I don't think he's meant to hurt him. I think he has tried to pull out, but look, his 2 feet were off the ground. He's caused damage to the opponent. He was out of control. I really think it was a red card. Sorry, I'm just wandering around here. But of course you miss him for 3 games, and he's also said that Fabian Schär is going to be missing with concussion protocol as well, so you could be missing all 4 of them for the weekend, which is obviously a huge blow. But look, let's not dwell on the negatives. I just thought tonight was everything that Newcastle United are. You know, we saw the banner before the game about being together, being as one, being united, and that performance was exactly that. I really, you couldn't have asked for any more. And I just listened to Eddie Howe in his press comments afterwards. I think he's just buoyed by the performance, and he says, look, he's trying not to take himself to a negative place because he actually feels quite positive, very positive after the performance. So some really good displays tonight. I think if Alexander Isak's sitting watching that tonight, what is he thinking? You know, it looks like it's over at 2-0, and then Newcastle come back. And what I liked about it is the team mixed it up. They didn't keep trying to play through the lines and high octane. They thought, right, we're going to get goals here. If we get goals, we're going to get it from set pieces, and you did. 2 set piece goals, you know, 2 kind of like ugly, scrappy goals, if you like. But that's what you have to do when you're down to 10 men. And I thought the character and the spirit to come back and perform like that when you're down 2-0 against a really strong Liverpool side with players in their team who, of course, Newcastle wanted to sign, and Hugo Ekitike, of course, scored against you. I just thought it was a real backs to the wall, in your face performance. It was just a real 2 fingers up to everyone else. And it just showed everything what this Newcastle squad are all about. But obviously not ideal with the injuries moving forward, but let's wait and see what happens in the next few days. Now, I thought Chow came on, he was alright. I thought Ramsey looked lively when he came on. You'd imagine these two will probably come in and play a little bit now. That's why you've got the squad, and obviously you want to play these guys, but it just means that you're a little bit thin in the ground in options. But look, you've not got ridiculous amounts of injuries, so it's only a few, so nothing to get too stressed about at the moment until we hear exactly how serious these injuries are. Alexander Isak, one penny for his thoughts tonight as he's watching that. What happens now with Isak, we'll have to wait and see. I think anyone who says he's definitely staying, he's definitely is going, they don't know the situation. Look, I think we need to admit that there's a real chance that he could go. And now that game's out the way, the owner's here. Yes, I think Craig, colleague Craig Hope put out a story earlier just before kick-off saying that members of the PIF and Jamie Rubin had gone to his house to talk to him today. We'll try and find out what came out of that meeting, but look, it feels like you're far down the line with it, and it feels like, you know, there is a real chance that he could go. However, he could stay. Let's wait and see what the next couple of days bring. I think the fact that you've not managed to bring in a replacement yet is the real concern here. I mean, obviously the Wissa thing has been dragging on for a long time. We reported today that you guys had a £50 million bid for Jorgen Strand Larsen. It's a lot of money for a guy who's only played one season in the Premier League, a guy whose deal was only made permanent in the summer for like 23-24 million. It's a lot of money, but it just kind of shows just how desperate the situation's become. And that to me shows that, you know, there's maybe a feeling that the Wissa thing might not happen. He's seen as like a replacement for the Callum Wilson as a number two, but the fact you're still trying to get two strikers in would suggest to me that there's still an option that Isak may go. I mean, because you are trying to bring in replacements. But look, let's see what it brings. I would imagine with Yasser Al-Rumayyan being in town, there will be high level meetings. He's here to do business. Is he here to say, Isak, you're staying potentially? Is he here to facilitate a deal? Potentially. It's all up in the air, and we'll probably find out a little bit more about that tomorrow. But yeah, look, I just thought so much going on behind the scenes. I just feel, see, when you look at the transfer window now, to be stood here watching a game like that, knowing that players could be transferred between teams and we're already a week and a half into the season, it just doesn't sit right with me. That transfer window should be closed before the season starts, and it should give everyone a level playing field. You're watching Crystal Palace losing Eze, Newcastle potentially losing Isak, you know, all these players moving on when a manager thinks they've got their squad in place for the season ahead, and I think that needs to change. I think this summer has been a case in point, and this transfer window has just been like, I've never known anything like it. I've never known anything like how crazy it is. It just seems to have gone on forever and ever, and I cannot wait until this time next week and it's closed. Hopefully you guys are in a stronger position in terms of bringing in a striker or two, but I think it's going to be a hectic few days as we get some definitive as to what's happening with the Isak situation, and then that will lead everything else. But look, there's not really too much you can say tonight other than it was an absolute privilege to be here. Newcastle can find themselves so unlucky, didn't deserve to lose that. You perform like that throughout the season, you'll win more games than you lose, and you'll be up there battling again towards the end of the season. Let's hope the injuries aren't too serious. But yeah, what a night to be here and say I was here for that game. One thing I've not mentioned, Willis Sula, he came off the bench tonight, and I turned round to the pair of people next to me and I said, he's going to score here. I just had that feeling. He got such a warm welcome onto the field. What an opportunity for him now. I mean, you know, he must be looking at thinking, right, I'm the only out-and-out striker, if you like, and I'm still on the bench. This is an opportunity for him to kind of stake a claim, and he did that tonight. Took his goal well. He's got a real love affair with you guys as fans. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him starting at Leeds on Saturday, but you know, this is an opportunity for a young kid like that to come in and stake his claim, and I think he did that today, and you can't ask for much more than that. So yeah, look, sorry, I'm kind of talking riddles because strange old night, not really too much to say at the moment. I'd imagine we're going to have a little bit more of a definitive on the Isak situation and what Newcastle are doing or trying to do or doing in terms of signing players over the next 24 to 48 hours. So that's a ramble from me tonight. Leave your comments below. You'll probably speak more sense than me, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.